So as you guys absolutely smashed the support on the last fantasy football video, what I thought we'd do for today's video is first of all show you my final draft going into the championship season, which does kick off tonight. As well as that, I'm also going to be looking into some of your guys' comments from the last fantasy football video, looking into your suggestions. So it's not too late to go ahead and join the league. We've almost got about 500 people in it. I'll leave a link and the league code in the description down below. And before we do hop into anything, a big shout out to our sponsors over at OneFootball. As always, you can find their link in the top line of the description. Over on the OneFootball app, like I said, the championship season's kicking off tonight, so there's never been a better time to go ahead and download it if you want to get live updates to your phone whenever a goal does go in. I know that I want to keep up to date with everything going on in the championship, then OneFootball is really handy to have for that. We're also in the middle of the transfer window as well, so if you want to get all the speculation and gossip going on around the footballing world, they can do that over at OneFootball. And as well as that, you can now also watch selected UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League qualifying matches for free over on the app, so what's not to like, link down below. But like I said, without any further ado, we may as well start out by looking at what my team's looking like going into game week 1. So heading into game week 1, this is the team that I'm working with at the moment, and it has changed quite a bit since I did my last video. So my two goalkeepers I've gone for, Bryce Samba and Adam Davis. Now I feel like at the start of the season you want to look at who's got the easiest fixtures in terms of a goalkeeper. You want them keeping clean sheets. The two that I've got that I could possibly alternate between them week to week, Bryce Samba, you know, Nottingham Forest defensively quite sound under Lamucci. Obviously they ended last season atrociously, but their fixtures at the start of this season are looking fairly decent. Stoke with Adam Davis as well, only 4 million, one of the cheapest goalkeepers on the game. I expect he's going to start for them this season. We're still waiting to see what happens with Jack Butland. You know, he's been linked away with a couple of moves lately, so his future's very much up in the air, but Davis ended the season well, so I'm going to alternate between them two. My back five, looking pretty strong. Patrick Bauer, 6.5 million, quite a lot, but he won so many aerial duels in the second half of last season for Preston. I've got a bit of a sneaky suspicion that he will score a few goals for us. I'm gonna say he's gonna score at least 5 goals for us this season from set-piece situations, Patrick Bauer. He's an absolute unit in the air. He got unlucky not to score more last season. And I also think we'll keep a few clean sheets along the way as well. Rico Henry for Brentford, that's an obvious one. Another 6.5 million defender. Going to get forward a lot. Brentford are very good at the back. Romeo at Millwall started pretty much every game for them last season, and with them playing with those wing backs, going to get forward a lot, and there is the chances that he gets a few attacking returns as well. Then I've gone for two of the cheaper defenders, but who will be coming in that on my side, so I'm going to start with a 3 at the back system. So Spence at Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough, another side who like to play with those wing backs, gets forward quite a bit, so could come up with some attacking returns. And if it's a Neil Warnock defence, you can guarantee they're going to be keeping clean sheets, or at least you'd hope so. So Spence is in there, and Ludwig for Barnsley as well, another player who I could see getting up and down the line quite a lot, could come up with those attacking returns. As well as that, only 4 million, so is a budget option for me. And I think that they improved massively defensively, so there's no reason to say why they won't be a little bit more sound at the back this season. Into my midfield now, I have spent a bit of money here. Joe Lolly at Nottingham Forest, the obvious option. I think that in terms of a goal threat coming from Forest, Joe Lolly's always going to be right up there. I'd back him to get into double figures for goals and assists this season at 8 million. Bit of a must-have. Danjuma for Bournemouth, bit of a wildcard option, but at only 6.5 million, I've got a bit of a sneaky suspicion that he could smash things up. Now, I'm basing a lot of this off that pre-season friendly I saw them play against West Ham when he went on this ridiculous mazy run. He looks like such a skillful player that at the Championship could absolutely thrive at this level. And Bieber for Brentford, obvious option, 9 million. I was tempted to go for Ben Rama, but with his future still a little bit up in the air, he's probably not going to play at the start of the season. I'm holding off on him a little bit. Now my next pick, Domingos Quina from Watford, looks to be an absolute steal at only £5 million. From what I've seen of Watford in pre-season, it's looking like he's going to be playing sort of like an inside forward, and for only £5 million for a team who I backed to score a lot of goals, he scored a fantastic goal in pre-season as well against Spurs. That could be a bit of a bargain. Seems a bit like a bit of a long shot taker. He's happy to have a pop from range, loads of skill about him, and like I say, only 5 million, bit of a bargain. And then it's my last midfield pick. For the time being, I've gone for Jamalo at Swansea. Now, my thinking behind this, at only £7 million, Swansea don't have like a natural recognised number 9 that's coming to replace Brewster yet, so it's looking more than likely that they'll be playing 2 up front, AU and Lowe. And since Lowe's classed as a midfielder, I could see him getting a few goal returns this season as well, so That's what my midfield's looking like. And then my forward options, Teemu Pukki, I'm probably going to captain him first game week. It's Pukki in the Championship, it's guaranteed goals, or at least you'd like to think. I think they'll create a lot of chances. Same for Ivan Toney at Brentford as well. I know he's a new signing coming in, but with how many chances Brentford are going to create this season, I just back him to score a lot. My wildcard option that I've gone for a little bit is Lucas João at Reading. Now, I have been swayed a little bit by him scoring a hat-trick in the EFL Cup the other week. However, Lucas João always seems to absolutely smash it at the start of the season. He looks like he's going to go on and score 20 goals, and then he goes and gets injured. So my plan is to stick with Lucas João until that inevitable injury does pop up. There was 3 strikers that I was umming and ahhing between. João was one of them. The others were Nahki Wells at Bristol City. I also back, I think he'll do quite well this season. And Dominic Solanke at Bournemouth. So I've left a little bit of money in the bank, so if I do want to go to one of those options, I can do that. Troy Parrott at Millwall, someone who I did actually have in my first draft, and I was tempted to go for him as well, but it's looking like he'll miss the start of the season. So I'll wait and see how he beds in at Millwall. And then in terms of my actual lineup, I think that this is the team that I'm going to go for. So I'm going to leave Davis on the bench. I think between him and Samba, Samba probably the more likely to keep a clean sheet against QPR, but that's a bit of a toss-up to be honest. I'm also going to leave Spence on the bench against Watford. Middlesbrough I'm not too sure about at the start of the season. Ludwig as well, I just like this back 3 that I've got at the moment. And then Jamal Lowe, the only reason because it's against my club Preston. I can't be, you know, wishing Jamal Lowe and hoping he scores against us. So going to leave him on the bench for the time being and then bring him in the second game week. But other than that, I think this is looking pretty strong. Teemu Pukki, I'm going to make my captain. Ivan Toney, my vice-captain. So obviously your captain gets double points every game week and your vice-captain gets their points multiplied by 1.5. So out of everyone, I'd probably back them 2 to score. Teemu Pukki against a Huddersfield side who are looking in a bit of a mess at the moment. So I'm saying that that's looking like a pretty strong side at the moment. So now you've seen my team, I thought we'd go through some of the comments from last time's video and look at some of your guys' suggestions for who you think could be a massive player for your club in fantasy football this year. Daz the Killer says James Collins, 6 million for one of the most points as an attacker is an absolute bargain. And do you know what? That could be one that goes under the radar a little bit. In the EFL Cup the other week, he scored a hat-trick against Norwich. Got into double figures last season as well. I think that him and Cornick have a decent partnership between themselves. Like I said, 6 million, that looked to be a decent price. Morgan Richards says Morgan Gibbs-White could be amazing for Swansea, and with that as well, I decided to go for Jamal Lowe from Swansea because I think he'll be playing a little bit more further forward and is another midfield option in the game. However, I'll be keeping a very close eye on Swansea this weekend, as of course they're playing my side, North End, so I'm very interested to see how he beds in there. Adam makes a good point here. Dak had 110 points and got injured in December. Now, as much as it pains me to do it as a North End fan, when Bradley Dack does get back to full fitness at Blackburn, he feels like a bit of a must-have in fantasy football, doesn't he? You know he's going to be getting into the box for goals and assists, you know. For Blackburn, he sort of plays as a second striker a little bit, doesn't he? When he gets back going, I might be tempted to put him in. Jay Brayshaw here talking about John Swift for 6 million. Now, I've made multiple drafts throughout doing this fantasy football thing for the Championship. John Swift has been in quite a few of them. The only reason he's not in my team at the moment is because I've decided to go for João, and I feel like doubling up on Reading players is a bit of a risky thing to do with how inconsistent they can be. But yeah, 6 million for John Swift is another absolute bargain on this game. You know, one of the most creative players in the league last season. If they do keep hold of him, no reason at all why he won't absolutely smash it out for assists next season and chip in with the goals as well. Good point here made about Placheta, the new Norwich City signing. Emi Buendia mentioned as well. Now, for Norwich and their midfield options, the only reason I've held back on them from putting them into my side as of yet is because I just don't know who's going to play. They've got an absolute abundance of them that surely they can't all play, and some of them are going to have to miss out. So I'm going to wait to see how Norwich start the season. The second game week they actually play North End, so I'll be keeping a very close eye on them at the start of the year. But yeah, Norwich could smash it, and you have the feeling that one or two of those creative players will just go on and take their game to another level. Good point here made by Connor about Davo playing as a right wing back for Coventry. We mentioned it on the last video how good they were defensively as well, so you'd expect them to be keeping it quite tight at the back this season. I feel like most Championship clubs now are playing 3 at the back with wing backs, aren't they? It's like the trendy thing that a lot of people are going towards now. I think there's a couple of fullbacks from the promoted clubs who could be quite useful this season on fantasy football. Another fullback coming up from League One this season, Joe Jacobson. Very good point made about him here. I mean, he scored 11 goals in League One last season, didn't he? He's going to be on set pieces, on penalties as well. A defender like that that is a bit of a fancy football dream. At only 4.5 million on the game as well. I may have to swap Spence out for Jacobson, you know. Goal point here made about Birmingham's Jeremy Bella, available for very cheap. Got 2 goals and 7 assists last season, and with a full season this time round with Birmingham. He's someone who's got quite a bit about him, especially if Birmingham sign another striker as well. He could be getting quite a few assists this season, so good shout with Bella. But guys, there we have it. That will now wrap it up for today's video, so thank you so much for watching. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, make sure to go ahead and join the league before the deadline and the first game kicks off tonight. I can't wait to get back into some championship football. But like I said guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to leave all your suggestions in the comments down below. Who do you still think is a must-have from your club? Who do you think is going to be a bit of an underrated gem as well? But if you did go to enjoy, make sure to leave a like and stick around and subscribe for a bit of regular championship content. But apart from that, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.